Hi, I'm Mr. Wilkinson, and I'm the principal at Southmont Junior High.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Williams, and I'm the Dean of Students here at Southmont Junior High.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Briones, and I am so excited to be your school counselor this coming year, and welcome to Southmont Junior High. Hi everyone, welcome to our main office. The entrance is actually just over there, but I wanted to show you, this is the desk of our awesome clinic assistant, Mrs. Server. So we're actually kind of lucky here at Southmont Junior High. We have our school nurse, who is Mrs. Rita Stoll. She's amazing, but because we share her with the high school, we are lucky enough to have our clinic assistant as well, who is Mrs. Server. So anytime a student is not feeling well, they need to ask their teacher, who will then send them up to the office, and then students will check in here with our clinic assistant, Mrs. Serber. If she is not here, then we will have Mrs. Still here. So we always have somebody available to help our students if they're not feeling well. Up next, I'm going to show you the other side of our office. So the main entrance is still just right here to my left. Behind me is the desk for our awesome secretary. Her name is Mrs. Acton. So pretty much anything that a student needs, if they can't ask a teacher or they can't go to Mr. Wilkinson or Mrs. Williams or myself, Mrs. Acton is your person to go to. Parents, whenever you call students in of a morning, you will most likely be talking to Mrs. Acton. So she's awesome. She knows everything. She's a great go-to person, especially for you kids if you have any questions or you don't know what's going on. Up next, we'll take you just a little ways down the hall. You can see Mr. Wilkinson's door right there. It's that very first door in the hallway. Also down that hallway, which typically students are only allowed to go if they have requested access or if they were asked back. So Mrs. Williams, who's our Dean of Students, her office is back there. My office is down the hall. We also have our technology department is down there as well. We're lucky to hold our building's tech department here in our building, so you can't access them through the office, but the main way to access the technology department is they have a door out in our hallway. So if their door is open, you can walk right in and ask for technology help, which I think is really awesome. A really awesome thing for us here at Southmont. Hi everyone, welcome to my office. It's one of my favorite places in the whole school. So as your school counselor, there are many different reasons that you may come to see me. You may come to me for personal reasons. So maybe you have something going on at home that you want to talk about. You may come to me for social reasons, meaning that you may be having issues with friends or you guys, not getting along. Sometimes I'll pull you in by yourself. Sometimes I may pull you in with that friend. I've had whole groups of friends in here before for us to try to talk that out. You may come to me for academic reasons. Sometimes if kids are struggling or they're not able to focus, or they need help with organization. All of those are different things that I can do to help students academically as well. So those are all different ways that you can request to come, or different reasons you could request to come see me. And speaking of requests, there are several different ways you can actually request to see me. Next year, you guys will join in on my Google Classroom, so you'll be able to request to see me electronically, meaning that nobody has to know. You can just fill out that Google form on your own. You can also ask a teacher if you can come see me, and then they will email me as well. So my goal for you guys is just to try to be as available to you as I can and try to get to you as quick as I can. It's not always that day, it's not always immediately, but I try really hard to see you as soon as possible. So again, welcome to my office. I love it here. I can't wait to have you guys here. So up next, we're gonna head out to the hallway so we can show you what some of the rest of the school looks like. Thanks. So welcome to our main hallway. I don't know what it is. I've always loved this hallway. I think it just looks really neat. It's very tall, it's very long. It's another one of my favorite places here. So when you come in of a morning, you will walk through these halls. Typically, students will go straight into the gym, which I will show you guys next. We have students seated in the bleachers by grade level, and you do sit there in the morning until the bell rings. So I will take you into the gym next. We do also have some windows here that show you our pool, which is actually what we share with the high school for our swimmers. So up next, I'll take you into the gym. So this is our gym. Like I said before, students come in here of a morning, so you will spend a lot of time in here. As sixth graders, if you do not take band or choir, you will have PE as one of your Explore classes. Explore is a lot like your guys' specials that you have now. So when you come in here for PE, as a sixth grader, you do not need to dress out. So all you will need to do is bring an additional pair of shoes. So you don't have to worry about bringing clothes. You don't have to worry about changing, which I think is kind of nice for sixth graders. The other times that we will come in here is Friday morning during advisory. So I will explain a little bit more to you guys here soon about advisory and what that is. So what we do on Friday mornings is we're bringing all of our students into the gym, back on that side. We sit sixth graders on the far end, seventh graders in the middle, and eighth graders on this side. And we have what are called our advisory competitions. So what we do is we play by team or by advisory, and we play full tournaments. So we usually start the year with tug of war, then we'll go to things like a football toss or a basketball, like a free throw, shoot. We finish the year typically with things like battle ball or nitro ball. Those are things you'll learn really quickly how to do here at Southmont Junior High. And what we do, so we come up with a sixth grade champion, a seventh grade champion, eighth grade champion, and then those teams play each other. And then that final championship team, so the champion amongst all the students, they play against the staff. If it's a game that we can handle, we typically win tug of war just because we're bigger. But some of the others, you know, we will play against students as well. And we have a trophy that probably comes up, I would say at least yay high. It's pretty tall. So if your advisory wins that trophy, then it will be put either in the office or in your classroom for you guys to keep until the next advisory championship comes around. So Friday mornings are one of my favorite times here. We have a lot of fun for special events like the day right before Christmas break or the end of the school year. You know, we do a lot of other fun activities in the gym. So we have a lot of good time in here as well. So up next, I'm going to take you guys over to the sixth grade hallway so you can see where you'll be spending a lot of your time. Okay, so this is our sixth grade hallway. This is where you guys will spend the majority of your time. Typically throughout the day, you guys are going to have 5 different classes. So you will be in here for at least 4 of those classes. You will have math, English, reading, and then your 4th class is going to be split between science and history. So what we've done this year is they will study science for about 5 to 6 weeks, and then they switch and they'll study history for the next 5 to 6 weeks. So like I said, that's what we did this year. It can always change for next year, but that class will always be split between science and history. Your 5th class, remember I've said before, you can do band or choir. If you choose band or choir, you will be in that class for the full year. If you don't decide to do band or choir, you will be put into the Explore rotation. So for you guys, that is PE, art, music, and library. Now, there are only 4 classes, but we have a total of 6 weeks where you will be taking those classes. So what you do is you will take each of those 4 classes and then you will retake the first and second. So that may mean that you get to take PE twice or you get to take art twice. It's all kind of a random selection for what you get. So the only choice you really get in your entire schedule is if you choose band or choir. So like I said, this is the 6th grade hallway. You'll spend a lot of your time here. It is the newest wing in the building, so it's very nice. We have new lockers here. They're a little bit wider than some of the others, which I think is kind of a nice transition for you guys. Up next, I'm going to take you into the classroom so you can see what your classes, may be like. The nice thing is all of our classrooms are on this side of the hall. They're actually connected. So within each classroom, there's a door that goes from room to room to room. So yes, you may come out into the hallway when you transition from class to class, but if you don't need to get anything, you can just go straight through from one class to the other and not even need to leave the classroom, which is kind of neat. So next we'll go into the classroom so I can show you what they look like. So this is what a typical 6th grade classroom looks like. There's quite a bit more of it. I'll pan around so you guys can see more, but I wanted to start with this view first. All of our 6th grade classrooms have these smart TVs, which I think are really awesome. So a lot of our teachers will teach using those. And then that entire wall, see how it's kind of shiny? that entire wall is a whiteboard. So a lot of time your teachers will be using those boards, not just for classwork, but to remind you, hey, you need to turn this in, or hey, we have this coming up. So teachers really use that whole wall, which is an entire whiteboard, which is one of my favorite parts of these classrooms. So let me turn this camera a little bit so you can see the rest of the classroom. So we have some nice new seating in here. That whole back wall is typically like a cork board, so teachers will have stuff up there to help students as well. And then there's just the rest of your classroom. So it's pretty standard classroom, but it's a nice one. So this is Mrs. McCormick's room. She may be one of your teachers. So typically most students will have 2 teachers throughout the day. There are a couple groups of students that have more than that. It just kind of depends on what your schedule looks like. So you can expect to have at least 2 of our 6th grade teachers, potentially more. Okay, up next we're going to head out to the Commons, because that's a place that you guys will as 6th graders be using quite a bit.